guys, Nate Richards here from Richards Guitar Studio, and I wanted to do the second video today for Stairway to Heaven. So these are all the strumming rhythm guitar parts, and we're going to start this lesson at section F. So go to the blog, richardsguitarstudio.com, find the blog, and the tabs are there for you. And we're starting actually one chord right before letter F. There's a pickup note there. It sounds like this. So that chord is just it's called a G over B chord. So learn that, and then letter F sounds like this. Goes into letter G. So letter F, we have an A minor 7 chord using your pinky up top. Rest. So you definitely want to get these rests in there. The 7th comes off. Your pinky comes off that note. Then you have a double suspension here. It's a D sus2 sus4. So you want to use your 3rd finger there, and then you kind of put the D chord over it. Back to this. Now when you come up here, you play an open D with this chord. It's an E minor over D. And you let the D string ring as you play the other chords around it. Alright? Now, the picking, you should do all downstrokes, except for anything that's a 16th note. So if you look on the sheet music there, you have a 16th note has two lines on it, 2 beams on it. So any of those double 16th notes is going to be a down up. So I know right from the beginning my picking is going to be down, down, up, down, down. So down, down, up, down, down, rest. Down, 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 up, down. Alright, so all of those 16th notes just double the picking with a down up. Basically the second line is the same. Adds a little bit of mutes in there in between those chords at the end. Alright, and there's one slight difference. The open strings, which by the way, he plays a lot of open strings in between chord changes. The open strings are doubled up there at the end of the second measure in the second line. So that measure is down, up, like that. So that's really very small difference there. But again, as for all the other stuff, you want to make sure that you really spend the time to get those little details in there. Alright, so letter G, we're going to start with the last note in letter F. That's an open A note, and that's going to be a pickup note leading into letter G. Sounds like this. Back to letter F. So in G, we're arpeggiating chords. So we have a C chord. The next one is a G over B chord. You're going to use your pinky for that 3rd fret. Alright, the next one is a little bit weird. It's an A minor chord. You hammer the 1st finger, then use your 3rd finger for this next note. These 2 fingers are in place, and the next 4 notes are an A minor arpeggio. So you're just adding the 2nd finger in there to make an A minor chord. So again, hammer on the 1st finger, use your 3rd finger for this next note, and then add your 2nd finger to do the arpeggio. Alright? Like that. So you're kind of slowly building an A minor chord in that situation. Then back to a C chord. G over B. Now this one he uses a lot in this song, where he uses the thumb for a low F, and then you put this F chord on top with an open E up there, and that makes it an F major 7. It's a nice chord. So practice that one, see if you can get all those notes to ring out. And that moves to an A minor. Alright? And then that repeats, and then at measure 53, which is the second line of letter G, that's a transition back to F. Letter F. And those two sections keep repeating over and over again for a good couple minutes in that song. So then letter H. I have a video specifically on this section. If you go to the blog and just search for tips on Stairway or something, or tip on Stairway to Heaven, I have one on the solo and one on the rhythm guitar part, and that's this section. This is a really tough part to play, but once you get the feel for it, you know, you can get it pretty smooth. So here's how it sounds. So okay, the hard part about this is that it feels like it should be a 2 pickup notes into a downbeat like this. Like that. But that's not how it's played. It's played directly on the beat like this. So it's a pretty hard part rhythmically. Once you get the notes down for this section, once you've memorized the chords, I would go search for that video, because I have a metronome on there and demonstrating it that way, and it's a really good section to practice. And then don't neglect the last 2 measures of this part with the arpeggios. So you have. So you have this chord, this is a C add 9 sharp 11. So your third finger is going to stay down, first finger, and then add 2 back here, and then a pull off there. Alright? So after you do that, after you learn that section, which might take some time, but it's worth it, you go to letter I, which these are the chords underneath the solo. Sounds like this. Okay, so for that, when you get to the second chord in there where it has the 3rd fret and then nothing on the A string, the reason for that is the pad of the 3rd finger is going to dampen or kill that A string. So when you strum it, nothing happens on that string. Then we get back to our F major 7 with the thumb, and then with the strumming, whenever you have a dotted 8th note, and then 1/16th note, which is, it happens in the 2nd beat and the 4th beat, that's a down and then 1 upstroke. So it sounds like this: down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. So it's sort of like an up at the end of the beat that anticipates the next beat. Alright. Then we have the solo, which again, that's going to be in another video. My philosophy again is that you should learn the entire song, rhythm guitar, learn the whole track, and then go back and learn the leads. So then letter K is where the heavy rock guitar part comes in. It sounds like this. So the strumming for all the 16th notes has to continue a down, up, alternate picking. So you have down, 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 up, down, up, down, down, up, down. Now the second part of it, the second measure is kind of tough. So you have to go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down. So essentially, each time you play the chord, it's on a different pick stroke. So down, up, down, up, down, down. All right, so work that rhythm out. That's important. And then if you want to add the fill in there, measure 87, that would sound like this. So that replaces the F chord doing that rhythm, alright? So that's just an option. So the last two times you play this riff, you have a variation here with this F major 7 chord, and the rhythm kind of opens up when you hit that. So it goes like this. Alright, same rule applies with the picking for those doubled up 16th notes. You want to make sure you're doing a down up pick for that. Alright. Oh, I forgot, the left hand mutes. When you're doing a bar chord all the way across the guitar, you just release the pressure and then hit the strings and they're all dead. And you have this percussive attack on the guitar. So my fingers are still on the frets, but I'm not depressing the strings. I'm just kind of touching the top of the string. And then letter L is the final chord progression. Sounds like this. So basically the same strumming rules apply here. Downs on the 8th notes. If there's a single 16th note at the end of a beam, you're going to do an upstroke. In the second measure, we have two 16th notes tied to one another. So what you're going to do with that is you're going to purposely miss the downstroke on the tied note. So for example, if you just get that F major 7 chord down and you go into the second measure and I'm starting right on the 16th notes, I go down, up, miss, up, down. So down, up, tie, up, down. Alright? Down, up, tie, up, down. So within the context of the riff, here's how it sounds. High, up, down, like that. Okay, so that's all the rhythm parts with the pick. In the next video, we'll do the solo. So have fun with that. Any questions? Richards at richardsguitarstudio.com.